Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. So today we are going to discuss how to deal with toxic people. So toxic people can be found everywhere in this society, right? Sometimes toxic people can be found in our family, right? Maybe they can be found in our neighborhood. Maybe we can find them as our friends. So in one way or another, we have to deal with these people. And also, we have that intention that we should not get hurt ourselves, and also we should not hurt others, right? So we need to find a way to deal with these people. So this is a famous and well-known story. One day, a man came to the Buddha and he started yelling and insulting, and he was cursing Buddha, right? So, do you know how Buddha faced that situation? He was smiling. He didn't make any reaction. Throughout that conversation and throughout that situation, he put on a smile, a positive smile on his face, and he was looking at that person who was yelling at him very kindly, right? So he was very kind to that person. Now after some time, that person stopped yelling, right? Everything that he packed inside him was over. He was finished. Then our great teacher Supreme Buddha asked a wonderful question from him, right? Now it is totally different to the situation, right? It does not suit for the situation. Supreme Buddha asked, do you get visitors to your home? Does visitors visit to your home? Then that person was astonished and he was amazed. And he said, yes, I get so many visitors to my home. Then Supreme Buddha kindly asked from that person, do you treat them with foods and drinks? Then that person said, yes, I am treating them. Then Supreme Buddha said, what if they did not accept what you have treated, what you have given? So, for whom those foods and drinks belongs to, if they did not accept those foods and drinks? Then that person laughed in front of the Buddha and he said, so if they did not accept my treat, then it belongs to me. I will eat them. Then our Supreme Buddha, with a great and wonderful kind smile in his face, he said, same goes with this situation, man. You treated me with rude and harsh words. You treated me with anger. But I am a person who is not accepting anything that you have given to me. I will never accept those rude and harsh words that you treated me. Right? So if I do not accept anything that you have given, then everything that you gave to me belongs to you. Then you should eat it. Right? Then that person was amazed, and his anger was cooled down. Then after, Supreme Buddha preached the Dhamma, his teachings to him. After that, he became a follower of our great teacher Supreme Buddha. Now see how positively and how successfully our great teacher Supreme Buddha dealt with that toxic person. Now if we were in that situation, what would be our reaction? Normally, when people yelling at us, We try to talk to them back. We try to prove them wrong, right? We try to control them with our rude and harsh words. Supreme Buddha said, if you treat with anger to the people who is treating you with anger, if you give the same thing, that means you are sharing their food and eating, right? If you become angry, that means you are sharing their treats. Remember, whenever you are in such situations, whenever you face toxic people, whenever people around you are angry, what you have to do? The first thing that you have to do is put on a positive smile to your face. Never show your sad or angry face to them. If you show that, that means you are providing what they want. Because they are coming to you expecting to hurt you. If you show them that you have been hurt, then you are unsuccessful. You provide them what they wanted. So never show your angry or sad face to them. Put on a smile. Be a positive person. Be a bigger person than him. Because when one person becomes angry, right, he becomes mentally weak. Remember, mentally weak people express their anger easily. The reason why they are expressing their anger is because they don't have a strong mentality. So you need to be the bigger guy, right? To be the bigger guy, you have to be positive, you have to smile, and you have to be motivated with virtues and morals. Okay? Be the best version of yourself. Don't try to talk to them back. That is the first thing. And also, you have to listen to what they tell, what they speak, right? Set apart and leave behind the person. Don't care about the person. Care about what they say, right? Sometimes they may be yelling at you because of a mistake that they think that you have done, but in reality, sometimes you haven't done it. So what you have to do? You have to listen to that and understand what they say, right? Give a big attention to what they say, right? So if they complain you about a mistake or something else, then you have to think, is that mistake prevails in my life, right? Is that mistake is inside my life? Have I done that mistake really? Right? If you have done some mistake and if that is the reason that they are yelling at you, then you have to correct your mistake. But never show the face of anger or sadness. Okay? Then you have to correct it. If you haven't done any mistake, and still if they are complaining you, then don't try to prove them wrong. Because each and every time you try to prove them wrong, they may be understanding it in a wrong way. Because when our mind gets deluded or when our mind is covered by anger, normally an angry man shuts his eyes and ears and he opens his mouth, right? He cannot see anything, he cannot listen to anything, he cannot hear anything. So what you have to do? Don't try to prove them wrong. Stay silent. Silence can give many answers to problems, right? So if you need to prove them wrong with your success, not with your words, right? That is how we do it. So you have to set apart the person and listen to what they say. If you have done a mistake, correct it. If you haven't done a mistake, leave it behind. Don't care about that. So the best practice that you can do to generate and to have this skill is to practice the mind of loving kindness. Right? If you love yourself, you will never like to make yourself angry. If you love yourself, then you will have the opportunity to love others. And if you love others, you will never try to hurt those people with rude and angry words. So practice loving kindness, practice compassion, right? Love, compassion, care, these things can provide many answers to the problems that pop up in our life. So you always need to be kind. You always need to be humble. And also remember, being humble is not being weak. You need to be positive. Right? You need to have a good skill to handle these situations. Now this can be done by visualizing to yourself that how I'm going to face such a situation. If you can visualize that a situation like that now, and if you can imagine in your mind how I am going to face it, right? If you can see that you are having a good smile on your face, and if you are listening to those people, and you are handling that situation very successfully, then that visualization will help you to deal with in a real situation like that. So practice that, right? That is how we deal with toxic people. Never provide what they want. When they come to you, they need the anger from you. They need to hurt you. So don't provide that. If you did not provide it, you will handle it successfully. So I wish you all, may all of you have that wonderful skill to deal with the toxic people successfully. Namo Buddhaya, Therwan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. In life, we have to deal with different kinds of people. So it is the nature of a person or a human is to make mistakes. Every living being makes mistakes. That is the nature of this life. That is the nature of our mind, because our mind is full of hatred and delusion and our craving. So when these defilements get filled inside our minds, it is the normal nature to make mistakes. So sometimes when we are working in a company, or when you are working in a company, if you are a leader, sometimes the people who work under your supervision may make mistakes. So most of the time, people use anger, and they use resentment, hatred, and evil words to explain something about a mistake to a person. That is the normal human nature. Remember, when you use the words of anger, when you use the evil words, when you talk in anger, you cannot explain that certain thing to that certain person, because no one likes to hear angry words from anyone. No one likes for another person to make them shy or embarrass them in front of others. But most of us embarrass people in front of others. Most of us talk the words of anger to explain the certain things when the people make mistakes. But our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, explained us that if you need to accuse someone, if you need to explain about a mistake that has done by another person to that person, there's a way to do that. There's a correct way to do that. So when you explain that certain thing to that person about that mistake, you need to have 5 things in your speech. Supreme Buddha said, the first one is, the speak must be timely. You should speak in the correct time. So what is the correct time? Never speak to a person, never explain about a mistake to a person when he is in anger. Because when people become angry, they shut their ears. They don't like to hear about the things that others say. So you need to explain about a mistake to that certain person when he is cool. So if you need to complain to someone, if you need to explain something to someone, talk with him privately. Bring him to a private place, maybe your cabin, maybe to a private place, and talk with him about that. That is the first thing. It should be timely spoken. The second one, Supreme Buddha said that speak must be a real one. That means you need to explain about a mistake that really have done by him. Sometimes we may misunderstand about the situations, from the miscommunications, and we complain to wrong people, the people who hasn't done anything wrong. So when you speak like that, you damaged that person's trust, right? So you need to complain from a mistake that has really happened, from the truthfulness. That is the second point. And Supreme Buddha said, you need to speak gentle words. That is the third one. You need to speak the words of gentleness. So how to do that? First of all, if you need to complain to a person, first of all, you need to praise him. So suppose your colleague or a worker who works under you has done some mistake. So how to do that? First of all, you need to give a value to his occupation, the work that he is doing for you. So when you're doing that, his mind becomes happy and he opens his ears to listen to you. That is the first part. Then go for the complaint. Then explain that this mistake has happened from you. Ask, why did you do that? What was the problem? Right? What was the problem to do that? Then you can complain about that. And again give a value to his life. Say that, give a praise to him. Say that you are doing well, but you have done something wrong, so you should not do this again and again. Then they will always listen to your explanations. So that is the thing. You have to speak gently, with kindness. And also Supreme Buddha said, you need to speak. You need to explain about that mistake with the goodwill, with the mind of explaining to that person and making his life better. You need to give that feeling to him. You need to give that feeling that he's trying to explain me something to make my life better. When he feels that, he always listens to you. So that is the fourth one. You need to look for the betterment of that person. And finally, Supreme Buddha said, you need to speak friendly words. You need to give that feeling of friendliness to that person. When you give that feeling to that person, he will reveal all the secrets inside him because he feels comfortable with you and he will always try to listen to your advice. So that is how we deal with the people who make mistakes. But never be angry in front of the people who has done something wrong, because we all make mistakes. We all are humans. We all are in the same nature. So what we have to do, forgive them, explain them about the mistake kindly, never hurt their feelings. And if you do this, you will find so many people around you who are praising you and who are loving you. Make your life better with kindness. Namo Buddhaya.